These cartels, they've been after this evil for a long time.
It's a war. You don't win wars with slogans.
Whatever it takes, get it done.
I know who you are, man.
Pretty sure you don't.
I know you're the Diablo Blanco.
Border Hunters 2025 is shaping up to be one of those intense, grounded action thrillers that leans heavily into realism while still delivering the kind of cinematic tension audiences expect from modern Hollywood storytelling. At its core, the film explores the volatile and morally complex world of border enforcement, where the line between law and survival often becomes blurred. Rather than presenting a simple good versus evil narrative, the story builds itself around characters who are forced into impossible decisions, and that is where the film begins to stand out. It doesn't try to romanticize the environment. Instead, it presents a harsh, dust-filled landscape where every decision carries weight and every moment feels like it could spiral out of control. The central premise revolves around a specialized tactical unit tasked with tracking and intercepting illegal cross-border operations, but the film quickly establishes that this mission is far from routine. What begins as a standard operation evolves into something much more dangerous, pulling the characters into a web of organized crime, human desperation, and geopolitical tension. The narrative gradually reveals that the hunters in the title are not just chasing criminals, they are also being hunted themselves, both physically and psychologically. This duality becomes one of the film's strongest thematic elements, creating a constant sense of unease that runs throughout the story. One of the most compelling aspects of Border Hunters is how it treats its characters. The film invests time in showing their personal struggles, motivations, and internal conflicts, rather than simply using them as vehicles for action sequences. The lead character, in particular, is portrayed as someone who carries the weight of past decisions, and that emotional burden influences every choice he makes during the mission. He is not a flawless hero. He is flawed, conflicted, and at times unsure of the very system he represents. This kind of characterization adds depth to the story and makes the stakes feel much more personal. As the narrative progresses, the team encounters increasingly dangerous situations that test not only their physical endurance, but also their moral boundaries. The film introduces multiple layers of conflict, including clashes with heavily armed smugglers, tense standoffs in remote desert regions, and moments where the team must decide whether to follow orders or trust their instincts. These situations are presented with a level of intensity that keeps the audience engaged, but what makes them truly effective is the emotional context behind them. Every confrontation feels like it has consequences that extend beyond the immediate action. The setting plays a crucial role in shaping the tone of Border Hunters. The vast, unforgiving landscapes create a sense of isolation that amplifies the tension. The environment itself becomes almost like a character in the story, constantly reminding the audience of how dangerous and unpredictable this world can be. Dust storms, scorching heat, and endless stretches of terrain contribute to the feeling that the characters are operating in a place where help is always just out of reach. This environmental storytelling adds another layer of realism, making the film feel grounded and immersive. Another key element that defines the film is its pacing. Instead of relying on non-stop action, it carefully balances quiet, suspenseful moments with explosive sequences. This approach allows the tension to build naturally, making the action scenes feel more impactful when they finally occur. The quieter moments are often used to explore character dynamics, revealing fractures within the team and hinting at underlying tensions that could eventually lead to conflict. These interpersonal dynamics are just as important as the external threats, adding complexity to the narrative. The film also delves into the broader implications of its setting, touching on themes such as migration, survival, and the human cost of border conflicts. It doesn't present easy answers or clear moral judgments. Instead, it encourages the audience to think about the different perspectives involved. By showing both sides of the conflict, the story avoids becoming one-dimensional and instead offers a more nuanced portrayal of the situation. This thematic depth is likely to resonate with viewers who appreciate films that go beyond surface-level storytelling. Visually, Border Hunters 2025 is expected to deliver a gritty and realistic aesthetic that complements its tone. The cinematography emphasizes natural lighting and wide, expansive shots that highlight the scale of the environment. At the same time, close-up shots are used effectively to capture the emotional intensity of the characters, creating a contrast between the vastness of the setting and the intimacy of their struggles. This visual style reinforces the film's commitment to realism, making the story feel authentic and grounded. The action sequences themselves are designed to feel raw and unpolished, avoiding the overly stylized approach seen in some modern action films. Instead, the film focuses on practical effects and realistic choreography, which adds to the sense of danger. Gunfights are chaotic and unpredictable, with an emphasis on the confusion and adrenaline that come with real-life combat situations. This approach not only enhances the tension, but also aligns with the film's overall tone, ensuring that the action feels like a natural extension of the story rather than a distraction from it. Sound design and music also play a significant role in shaping the film's atmosphere. The soundtrack is expected to be subtle yet impactful, using minimalistic compositions to build tension rather than relying on loud, dramatic cues. This restrained approach allows the natural sounds of the environment, such as wind, footsteps, and distant gunfire, to take center stage, further immersing the audience in the world of the film. The result is an experience that feels both intense and intimate, drawing viewers into the story on a deeper level. As the plot unfolds, the stakes continue to escalate, leading to a series of events that challenge the characters in ways they never anticipated. The film builds toward a climax that is both emotionally and physically demanding, forcing the team to confront the consequences of their actions and the realities of their mission. This culmination is not just about resolving the central conflict, it is also about the characters coming to terms with who they are and what they stand for. This focus on character development ensures that the ending feels meaningful rather than simply explosive. What makes Border Hunters 2025 particularly interesting is its attempt to blend entertainment with introspection. While it delivers the kind of high-stakes action that audiences expect, it also takes the time to explore deeper themes and character arcs. This balance is not easy to achieve, but when done correctly, it can elevate a film from being merely entertaining to being truly memorable. The film's willingness to tackle complex issues without losing its sense of momentum is one of its most promising aspects. The dynamic within the team is another area where the film shines. Each member brings a different perspective and skill set, creating a sense of diversity that adds depth to the story. These differences often lead to conflict, but they also highlight the importance of trust and cooperation in such high-pressure situations. The interactions between the characters feel natural and grounded, avoiding the cliches often associated with team-based action films. This authenticity helps to create a stronger emotional connection with the audience. As more details about Border Hunters 2025 continue to emerge, it becomes clear that the film is aiming to offer something more than just a typical action thriller. It seeks to provide a window into a world that is rarely explored in mainstream cinema, shedding light on the complexities and challenges faced by those who operate in these environments. This focus on realism and authenticity is likely to set it apart from other films in the genre. At the same time, the film does not lose sight of its primary goal, which is to entertain. The combination of intense action, compelling characters, and a thought-provoking narrative create a well-rounded experience that appeals to a wide audience. Whether viewers are drawn to the adrenaline-pumping sequences or the deeper emotional themes, there is something in the film for everyone. This versatility is one of its greatest strengths, making it a project worth paying attention to.
Ultimately, Border Hunters 2025 represents a blend of traditional action storytelling and modern cinematic sensibilities. It embraces the elements that make the genre exciting while also pushing boundaries in terms of character development and thematic exploration. The result is a film that feels both familiar and fresh, offering a new perspective on a well-established formula. As anticipation continues to build, the film stands as a reminder of how powerful storytelling can be when it is rooted in authenticity and driven by strong characters. It is not just about the action or the spectacle, it's about the human stories at the center of it all. And if the film delivers on its potential, it could leave a lasting impression on audiences, proving that even in the most intense and dangerous environments, the most compelling stories are ultimately about people and the choices they make.